Okay, we are in the pit area of probably the most famous name in motorcycle drag racing, and Top Fuel in particular, Elmer Trett from Demarest, Georgia. And Elmer, it's glad to have you with us here at the M&H Suzuki Summer Nationals.
Well, thank you. Nice being here.
Now, Elmer, you've been racing Top Fuel bikes for as long as I can remember. When did you actually get started in motorcycle drag racing?
I can't remember back that far. It's been a while. I've probably actually been racing 25 years.
Now, have you always competed in the Top Fuel category?
No, I started out with street bike, basically like everybody else, and kind of work your way into it. Took probably running Top Fuel for 20 years.
Now, I know you used to also run Harley Davidsons, correct?
Oh yes, I loved them.
How much success did you have with the Harleys before you actually got into the Japanese type bikes?
We did real well with it. We'd ran some. Well, at one time, you know, they said you could never run a 7 with a Harley Davidson, and we did it. And now, you know, they're running low 7s, so we had a lot of success with it. Carried us 3 or 4 #1 plates, and we did well.
Now, I know you've had a lot of highs and a lot of lows in your 25 years in drag racing. What was probably the highest point in your career? Could it have been in 1984 when you ran the magical 200-mile-per-hour run?
That's probably it. I'd say that's the biggie.
Now, I know you've seen the sport change over the years. Could you basically give us a little idea of what it was like when you first started and how it has actually progressed to motorcycle drag racing in the 90s?
Oh, well, you know, back then it was, a lot of guys would get together, and it was the equipment was pretty raggedy, and people just didn't know. And we looked at a lot of the car stuff and started following along in some of the things they were doing. And now these things are got to where they're really high tech. You know, they're really a high tech piece of equipment.
Well, there's no doubt about being high tech as we take a look at your brand new Mountain Magic that you debuted late last year, Elmer, and just basically give us an idea of what it's like to put this particular motorcycle together. You know, some of the handmade components that you guys make down at your shop in Demarest.
Well, we do the motor, all the engine plates, just basically everything on this thing. I have either done it or done it with someone. And of course the chassis and the tin work is Puppet did that. I went up and stayed a couple weeks with them, and we did the chassis and all the tin work. And it's got some pretty neat stuff about it. I got a dampener system in the pulleys, and it's twin mag, screw blower, multi-stage clutch. So basically what it amounts to, it's set up a lot like a fuel car.
How much horsepower is she putting out?
I'd like to think it'll make about 850 on a good day. And 80 cubic inch, not bad.
All right, Elmer, if somebody wanted to get into Top Fuel motorcycle drag racing, number one, what would it cost?
That'd be hard to say. You know, it depends on how much of it you make, how much you got to buy, and probably I would bet to get into it on any kind of level that you could think about being competitive. If you did a lot of work, probably $65,000, and it could go from 65 to 100.
And that's not including spare engines and transmissions and clutches and all that kind of extra stuff you need.
It's very expensive because everything, you know, is handmade, and it's just a lot of serious money.
Well, Elmer, thanks a lot for taking the time to talk to us today. It's a pleasure. Thank you.